Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you for the opportunity given to us. My name is Afdalia Anissa and Dr. Gigi Waode Anastasia Mulyani Isat as author and Professor Dr. Gigi Sri Oktawati SP Perio Consultant as our supervisor. On this occasion, we will discuss chronic periodontitis management in medical compromised patient, a case report. Introduction. Chronic periodontitis is a multifactorial inflammatory disease that extends to the subgingival space in the tooth supporting tissue caused by microorganisms and cause progressive damage that occurs in periodontal tissue. In addition, periodontitis is known to be closely related to several systemic diseases, for example, cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and others. Periodontal pockets are the recesses that are suitable habitat that can be used for hundreds of species of bacteria, especially periodontal pathogens, producing inflamed area, which are the starting point for bacteria and or byproducts into the systemic circulation. Medically compromised is a condition of patient who has an abnormality or condition that must be compromised by a doctor before any action is taken related to the disease. Many factors are needed to be considered while evaluating patients prior to minor oral surgical procedures, especially in the medical compromised patients. Objective: the purpose of this case report is to describe the management of chronic periodontitis in medical compromised patients. Case report. Case presentation. A 52-year-old woman came to Periodontology Department Hasanuddin University with complaints of gingival enlargement and mobile teeth. The patient suffered from hypertension and diabetes. Patient history of taking amlodipine for more than 5 years ago and glibenclamide for more than 4 years ago. Because it is suspected that amlodipine can cause enlargement of the gingiva, so the patient is referred to an internist to be asked to replace amlodipine with another drug. Case management. Initial treatment. In figure A, we can see before treatment. Figure B, after scaling root planning and after change amlodipine drug with candesartan drugs. And figure C, after scaling root planning and extraction 1-2 and 2-2 and after change amlodipine drug with candesartan drugs. And figure D, we can see periapical radiograph examination at tooth 3-1 and 3-2. Initial treatment. In the third week, the patient came and performed a splinting on the area to be operated. The tooth 3-3, 3-2, 4-1, 4-2, 4-3, using a composite fiber to stabilize the mobile teeth. A week, it is planned that the patient will continue to the stage of regenerative periodontal surgical treatment. We can see in figure A, etching procedures, and figure B and C, labial view and lingual view after splinting procedures. Regenerative periodontal surgical treatment. At the next visit, regenerative periodontal surgery was performed, starting with the administration of disinfectant solution in the operating area, tooth 3-3, 3-2, 4-1, 4-2, and 4-3. We can see in figure A. Then injection of anesthetic infiltration with lidocaine injection 2%. Then flap incision using a horizontal technique using blade number 15 and circular technique using blade number 12. We can see in figure B and C. After that, the periodontal flap was removed using a periodontal elevator with a full thickness flap technique to expose the alveolar bone and tooth roots. We can see in figure D. Then, curettage was performed to carefully remove the granulation tissue and subgingival calculus so that the entire root surface and areas of alveolar bone damage could be seen. We can see at figure A. Then irrigated using NaCl, then the surface of the tooth root was irrigated using 5% EDTA, so that the debris and tissue that was still attached to the tooth could be removed so that the gingiva could adhere properly to the tooth root. We can see in figure F. After that, the placement of platelet-rich fibrin as a tissue regeneration material along the operation area. After insertion of PRF as tissue regeneration material, the operation area is then closed with a continuous suture technique, then closed with a periodontal dressing. We can see in figure H and I. Post-surgical instruction. After the surgical procedures completed, patients were prescribed drugs amoxicillin at 500 mg combined with metronidazole at 500 mg and ibuprofen at 400 mg combined with paracetamol at 500 mg, manoxidil or chlorhexidine 0.2% at 60 ml. Instructions: after surgery, the patient is asked for a soft diet, adequate rest, avoid brushing teeth or touching the operating area, take medication as prescribed, contact a doctor if there are complaints, and return for control 1 week later. Treatment result. In figure A, we can see clinical picture after treatment, control 1 week, and figure B, clinical picture after treatment, control 2 weeks, and figure C and D, clinical picture after treatment, control 1 month. Treatment result seen from the radiographic view. In picture A, we can see radiograph before treatment in tooth 3.1 and 3.3, and in figure B, we can see radiograph after 1 month post-operatively 3.1 and 3.3. Discussion. Epidemiological studies have clearly identified that diabetes is a major risk factor for periodontitis, increasing that the risk approximately threefold compared to non-diabetic individuals. In the journal Masayuki Shimu et al. 2011 explained that periodontal disease may also affect blood glucose levels in diabetes patients through insulin resistance. Writer Naresh Sharma 2013 said many factors need to be considered when evaluating patients who experience medical disorders undergoing minor surgery. The use of antihypertensive drugs often causes complaints such as xerostomia, gingival overgrowth, swelling of the salivary glands or pain, lisinoid drug reaction, erythema multiforme, change in taste sensation, and paresthesia. According to Vipin Bharti et al. 2013, drug-induced gingival overgrowth or enlargement occurs in whole or in part from systemic drug use. According to Desari Utami et al. 2019, gingival enlargement due to side effect of medicine. Amlodipine is a dihydropyridine derivative used as an antihypertensive drug with longer action and comparatively lesser side effect than nifedipine as calcium channel blocker. Drug-induced gingival hyperplasia usually occurs within the first 3 months of medication and begins as an enlargement of the dental papilla. The severity of gingival enlargement in patients taking medication correlates well with poor plaque control and is commensurate with the degree of plaque-induced inflammation. The treatment of drug-influenced gingival enlargement is a challenge for the periodontist due to difficulty in the selection of the proper line of management and its high recurrence rate. Comprehensive treatment of these cases is multidisciplinary in nature. Dentists and physicians should first consider the non-surgical approach, including the removal of local factor and the replacement of the offending drug. If the non-surgical approach is not effective, periodontal surgery can remove the enlarged gingival tissue. Conclusion. Dental care in patients with medical compromise is a multidisciplinary treatment where the responsibility for treatment is not only the dentist but also the internist. Long-term use of the antihypertensive drug amlodipine can cause enlargement of the gingiva, so the treatment is by changing of the antihypertensive drug before surgical therapy. Thank you for your attention. If you have any questions, please send to email contact afdaliaannisa31018@gmail.com. Thank you.